You are listening to Right Back At Ya, the 2000s pop music podcast where we have fun taking pop music seriously. Hosted by David. Why's this fool all up in my ass? Doesn't he know I want class, not trash? Lim. And me. I feel like I've walked the desert for miles in this summer heat. Joel Babington. Hello, David. How are you doing?
Oh, JB, just trying to keep cool over here.
Oh, tell me about it.
Oh, my God. I mean, I've never read so many tweets and just people saying, listen, it may seem like we're complaining a lot in the UK when it's only, as in quote, only 30 degrees. But I swear to you, 30 degrees hits different in the UK compared to Australia or the US because we just can't cope with heat. Like we're not built, the infrastructures in this country are not built for a heat wave.
Not built for it. There's no aircon in our buildings. There's no aircon in my work, David.
Are you being serious? I feel like that is a violation of human rights there. That's unsafe work conditions for sure.
I didn't say that on this platform. David Lim did. Just on record.
In case HR's listening.
But honestly, David, take me to the beach. It is warm and I'm not complaining, but it is uncomfortable.
Now, speaking of the beach, you guys would have seen what episode you have stumbled upon today. Over the 5 years we've been doing this podcast, this artist has come up regularly, hasn't it, as a request?
Frequently. Now, if it wasn't summer, I would be wearing my military camouflage shirt right now.
And I have a beanie as well to go with it. And some blonde highlights, Shaznay style.
But it's too hot. But listen, you lot have been asking for this. And we love this group. So it's about time.
This is an iconic girl group known for their impeccable vocal harmonies. The kind of very timeless pop songs that we still hear on the radio to this day. And of course, as you referenced before with the cargo trousers, we're talking about the beanies, like the fashion, it was just so dead cool. They were like that girl group that was a little bit
edgy.
Yeah. I mean,
still are, like they were like your older sisters, like your cool older sisters that you really wanted to be.
Yeah. And their friends. And you would never be allowed to hang out with them.
Absolutely not.
But they're a laugh. They always look like they're having a good time or slagging some guy off. And you just want to be in on that conversation. So yeah, that is All Saints in a nutshell, in case you guys don't get the vibes. Now, JB, this girl group has sold over 12 million records worldwide and clocked up 9 consecutive UK top 10 singles. 5 of those were UK number ones. They have won 2 Brit Awards and an Ivor Novello Award. So it really, really, really makes a lot of sense for us to finally be celebrating Shaznay, Melanie, Nicole, and Natalie on the podcast.
Woo!
I know where it's at. Not the first album though, sorry guys.
Listen, today is not a booty call.
Today's not a booty call. But I feel like everyone knows All Saints' first album. You know all the hits on that one.
This is the 2000s pop music podcast that has given you a Spice Girls Forever episode. It has given you 2 solo Spice Girls episodes. We have not dipped into the first 2 albums of the Spice Girls, and therefore we have not dipped into the debut of All Saints.
But we are picking up in the year 2000 with their second album, Saints and Sinners, today. And initially I was a little bit reluctant because I'm like, is this the right place to start? But then looking at the timeline of events, we are in for a very juicy, interesting era right here, aren't we?
This is a history lesson today. I'm surprised you didn't have a whole module on this for your becoming a UK British citizen test.
Can you imagine a chapter in a test? What went down in Jacket Gate? Oh, we're about to find out in this episode. Stay tuned. Now, JB, should we have a look at a review? What do you think?
Do you know what? That sounds lovely, David. Before we go to the beach, could you read us a lovely 5-star review? I'm just here having a good time. He's segueing. He's doing it all. I'm like, yeah.
You're just having a sip of drinks there, just having a good time. Yeah, I'm here to work, bitch. All right, JB, this one was left on Apple Podcasts for us by Auntie Dylan.
Oh, hello, Auntie Dylan.
The title goes, Doing God's Work with This Pod. I've fallen in love with your podcast over the last few weeks. It's so refreshing to hear two people who share the same love as me for 2000s pop culture. I first listened to your Steps podcast, and the rest is history. Love, 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 being reminded of some iconic moments in Hun culture. But I always side with Joel with his thoughts on Australia's chart positions.
Mm-hmm.
Keep providing us with such incredible content and keep slaying. I would love to see a part 3 of the Steps podcast and to hear your thoughts on the Light Up the World album or look into Steps solo careers.
Oh, could be interesting.
Could be, yes, yes. I can't wait to see your next podcast, Hans. Thank you, Auntie Dylan.
Well, here it is for you, Auntie Dylan. Hope you have tuned in to enjoy the history books of All Saints. Now, David, I'm going to have a sip of my drink. It is a celebrity drink I'm drinking today, a celebrity spirit. First one of the podcast, probably, that I've participated in.
It looks clear, so I'm going to say, is it a gin?
No, it's the other clear spirit.
Who has a vodka thing out at the moment?
She's releasing her debut album this year or next, after however many years in the biz.
Debut album?
Kate Hudson.
Are you being serious? Kate Hudson has a vodka.
Kate Hudson has a vodka.
More to the point, Kate Hudson's releasing an album.
Oh, she's always been very passionate about singing.
Has she ever done The Masked Singer?
No, she did. She's an Oscar nominee.
You got to start somewhere in the music industry.
She has a vodka and an Oscar nomination, David. She hasn't got time for The Masked Singer.
Not everybody has that.
She was in that musical, was it 9? Directed by Rob Marshall.
With Nicole Kidman, right?
With Nicole Kidman, Fergie,
and pure vocalist only, yeah.
And Kate Hudson.
Wow.
But she's always loved singing, and she's probably always loved vodka.
I mean, sounds like you.
But it is an American exclusive, so I brought it over from New York, and I've been sipping it every now and then. But the summer hits just right, and I've been enjoying a glass of Kate.
I love that your trips to New York is always about stocking up on celebrity purchases or celebrity items over there that we can't find over here. Go with an empty Jessica Simpson suitcase and come back with another Jessica Simpson suitcase.
Don't. They're onto me.
Yeah.
But anyway, David, sorry for that detour en route to the beach.
Let's give a little summary of All Saints, give you guys a little background before we dive into the year 2000.
Of course.
All Saints were the epitome of cool, pitched as the antithesis of the Spice Girls back in the 90s. Now, if Virgin Records had that flashy new girl group Spice Girls with the zesty personality, girl power catchphrase, this one, London Records' 4-piece girl group, All Saints, were a little bit more pared back. They were seen and positioned as kind of real, relatable girls with just great soulful vocals and harmonies. You know, they were more casual, more... Not to say the Spice Girls weren't, but I think the Spice Girls had a little bit more eclectic fashion sense and like more individuality bursting out from the get-go. Back in 1993... 2 young London girlies, Shaznay Lewis and Melanie Blatt, started their singing careers singing backup in Psalm West Studio here in London. Now, this was a really buzzy studio back in the day, JB. Grace Jones, George Michael, Pet Shop Boys have all recorded there. It was here that the music manager, Ron Tom, decided that Shaznay, Mel, and a girl called Simone Rainford should be a trio. Now, the name Ron Tom might sound a little bit familiar because down the line he would go to form and launch Sugar Babes.
Brilliant.
So it kind of seems like maybe Shaznay, Mel, and Simone were kind of the prototype Sugar Babes idea he had. This trio debuted on stage at Notting Hill Carnival.
Wow, what a debut.
Right. I mean, London Girlie's in it.
He can say that now because he's got his citizenship.
Permanent residency. Let's not go that far, but I've done the test.
Sorry, he can say that. He's done the test. I don't know what's what.
So this trio debuted at Notting Hill Carnival under the name All Saints 1975, named after the recording studio and the year of their birth. They released their first single, Silver Shadow, in 1994, but sadly, the girls split up due to creative differences. So after that group fell apart, Shaznay and Mel auditioned several girls, and this was when Nicole Appleton, who Mel knows from her Sylvia Young days, came into the picture. They played Nicole some demos. Nicole sang a little bit for Shaznay in the bathroom of a restaurant, and then it was done. It's like, yep, you're in a group.
Very like Jenny joining Atomic Kitten. Natasha pinning her down in the bathroom at a club. I got to speak to you.
Always goes down in a bathroom. Maybe that's how we'll get discovered one day.
Oh my God.
Now, initially, Nicole's older sister, Natalie, pondered becoming the group's manager, but it made more sense for Natalie to join the group and become a four-piece.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It just makes the picture, doesn't it? Like just the Appleton sisters, Mel, Shaz.
Chef's kiss.
They look great together. All Saints was officially born. They worked on their debut album together and then went to London Records with it as a pretty much finished product. And that's where the label signed them and launched them in 1997 with their first single, I Know Where It's At. And as we all know, the rest is history. Never Ever, huge global hit that put them in the Icons League. That self-titled debut album sold over 5 million records worldwide, certifying 5 times platinum in the UK alone. And after the life-changing success of that whole debut album era, JB, we're picking things up right here in the year 2000.
A whole new chapter. And I think we should hit to the beach. This must be late 99. Shaznay is flying over to, I'm assuming, America to go and work with William Orbit to record a song for the upcoming feature film, The Beach, directed by Danny Boyle. Now, Danny Boyle did not want All Saints to be involved.
But he was probably thinking like, oh, get me Moby, get me fucking Blur or something. Like, you know, why would I want girls? Why would I want a girl group on my soundtrack?
He only agreed to do it if it would be produced by William Orbit.
Pete Tong, who is the A&R at London Records, was co-producing this soundtrack. So obviously he would want one of his acts on there in some capacity. And once he heard it, was like, okay, well, if it takes William Orbit to be on this, then I'm going to get William Orbit and then we're going to get All Saints and then you can't say no. And that's kind of like the picture. It's like, okay, let's see what happens. We got William Orbit now. Let's go make this song. So off Shaznay goes on her EasyJet flight. I mean, it was probably
I'm sure it was an EasyJet.
She's not there with her vodka, a soda, sitting in economy. Darling, hold my hand.
No, she sat in first class with her vodka and her soda. Is this Kate Hudson's vodka? So this plane ride is actually very influential, David, because she was on this flight to LA. Also, for listeners, EasyJet doesn't go to LA. David Lim's spreading SH1T on the pod. En route to go and work with William Orbit.
I just want to get an EasyJet deal for our podcast. Come on, JB. I'm just including the mention.
I just want a Kate Hudson sponsorship, you know?
I see what you're doing and I'm doing the same, okay? We just want some free shit on this podcast. Damn it, it's been 5 fucking years. Give us something.
We're available. So she's on this flight. She starts putting pen to paper.
Jamelia style.
She is writing down the lyrics on the aeroplane, getting ready, like, oh, I'm going to see William Orbit, want to show up, prepared.
Yeah, be prepared. Have your shit together.
She gets to her hotel, Davo. She's only gone and lost the lyrics.
Oh my God, what are you like, Shaz?
Honestly, one too many vodka sodas.
That Kate Hudson vodka just hit.
Maybe she was writing it on the back of the receipts. I'll have another one because I need more paper. It's just flowing through me.
Imagine being the flight attendant that picks up those like receipts or napkins with the original lyrics. And imagine if they kept it because, oh, I wonder if this is worth something one day. And now we see it on eBay going for £1 million. I think we're both in a really silly mood, but I love the kind of tangents here. It's just like, there are many paths to pure shores, everyone. Many paths.
So she had to rewrite the lyrics, David. So there would have been a mixture in there of lyrics she could remember, new lyrics, a whole whatever. Later, she then realised the words pure shores aren't even uttered in the song once.
I know, but she probably thought, okay, I'm writing a song for the beach, right? So maybe it's a working title. Let me just write down Pure Shores. And then just carried on writing this song. Inspiration took over. I believe she was only played 18 seconds?
40 seconds.
40 seconds of the film. JB, do you remember the hype around this song? Do you remember the first time you heard Pure Shores?
I remember the hype around the beach. I was growing up in Essex. They loved Leo. Do you know who loved Leonardo DiCaprio? My sister Elise.
Same, Elise.
10 years older than me, loved Titanic. This is the girl that I think my mum bought us Titanic on VHS. She comes home 3/4 of the way through, reminding you, David, this is a 3-hour film. She comes in the living room. Can we rewind it and start it again?
It's like, no, Elise, you can watch that in your own time.
I mean, look, if we're about 10 or younger, 7, 8, 9, if Big Sis says that, you got to do it.
Yeah, that's the power she wields.
She loved Leo. I remember buying her a Leonardo DiCaprio diary.
Wait a minute, sorry, how old were you when you were watching that steamy scene in Titanic with the hand on the window? What did you think was happening?
Look, come on, darling. I was growing up when I was that 9-year-old in Essex, I knew what was what. I hadn't even had Google and I knew the old one too.
In a lot of the stuff I read in Smash Hits at the time and the kind of, I don't know, whatever teen mags that was around, the beach was mentioned a lot.
I don't think I saw it at the cinema, but yeah, it was a huge, big deal. I think I must have rented it when it came out, so it was everywhere. And this banger of a song. So it felt, in the UK especially, it felt like a whole 1-2 punch because Leo Mania, but then obviously the UK gays and girlies and anyone with a bit of edgy taste in pop music love All Saints.
And I remember being in Australia and hearing this on the radios all the time. So much so to the point where I actually kind of detached it from the beach movie because I don't feel like there was never any appeal for me to go watch that. So I kind of treated this as more like, okay, this is an All Saints moment rather than a film soundtrack moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was given to us as a soundtrack moment, but as Geraldine Estelle will say, it was a gift. The thing is, Shaznay co-wrote this or wrote it. And yes, I'm sure to some people it is just that song from the beach. But in the pop world, it really stands on its own. It isn't a soundtrack single. It manages to be like a strong lead single off an album. It isn't like, even though there's going to be quite a gap before the next single, it doesn't feel like, I think this was such a monumental hit that arguably the rest of the singles, although successful, do live in the shadow of this monumental smash.
But yeah, I think you are right that this does stand on its own because Shaznay wrote it. It's an All Saints song, whereas sometimes if it's like a Jerry, It's Raining Men, it's a cover, or if it's a Girls Aloud, Jump, it's a cover. It feels less of an artistic ownership.
I've known this song for 2/3 of my life, so I can't quite recall hearing it for the first time. What I do find fascinating is I never realised how different this actually sounds to the first album's material.
But also, I think in my head, having already experienced Madonna's Ray of Light era. Like, I was really tapped into that when I was in Malaysia. So I think this kind of William Orbit style music, I was already very primed and ready for it.
People were aware. You were aware.
To me, it just sounds like what a hit would sound like at the time.
And I think that's interesting, though, because you're saying, yes, that's what sounds like a hit would sound like at the time. Whereas around this time, or in this year, the Spice Girls released Holler. And again, those are two songs, as you're saying, quote unquote, sound like what a hit would sound like at that time. All Saints got put on a pedestal, and Spice Girls, while it was a big hit and we all still love it, got a lot of flack of they sound so different.
I think it was different with Spice Girls coming back with Holler, because I think they were already on the back foot, losing a member, and then you come back with something that really changed your sound and image. Maybe it was a little bit giving the haters a little too much ammunition. It's just, people pick and choose, don't they? You know, it's not fair.
Not here at Right Back At Ya.
No, we celebrate Holler and Pure Shores equally.
I want to quickly talk about the artwork for this single, David Lim.
Come on, Microsoft Paint.
So
the font is giving MS Paint.
It is saying Groovy Chick, but this ain't a Nikki Webster album cut.
But they were trying to appeal to Nikki Webster fans.
I don't know.
Let's get the MS Paint out. Let's pick magenta. Let's pick lavender. Let's pick bubblegum pink, and let's go for it.
I will say, while it's obviously fabulous, like, I love the visual of the girls. It's giving All Saints girlies on a day at the beach.
Brighton Beach.
On the pier. Because it's such a huge hit, and then you look at the album cover and you go, the single cover, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there.
So I just want to quickly, as David said, he didn't like it. Music video.
This music video, JB, I cannot believe this. Filmed in Norfolk over 3 days in January, so you know it was in the dead of winter.
Well, that's why they got all their coats on.
3 fucking days and it looks like this. 3 fucking days in Norfolk. It's not like 3 days in Koh Samui.
This was directed by Vaughan Arnell, who had directed some classics. Spice Girls Say You'll Be There, All Saints Booty Call, Jerry Look at Me. This video shows All Saints moving in blurry night vision and infrared shots.
In the girl group, if I was a pop star, I don't think I would want to look like a dazed raccoon in my music video.
It does work for me because it's given, while it has the beach, it gives more Blair Witch in a lo-fi way, but it is that in also an excellent stylized way. It just works. It's weird, it's edgy, it's dark, it's cold.
I tell you one shot I like. When the eyes are peeking through the wooden slats and panels, and you get like really warm lighting on the skin, and you get to see their eyes lit up. That's really nice. I felt like that was the only beautiful shot in this whole thing, but maybe they weren't going for beautiful. Listen, okay, if you could direct this video, JB, what concept would you have gone with?
I would have gone... Oh, don't put me on the spot. But what I would have gone is the girls have landed on their beach holiday and they're on the beach having a great time. And then you've got the 4 of them on the row on the beach sunbathing. And then you just get moments of like Mel like looking up and across, and then you cut to scenes from the film.
Oh, so it's almost like they're
there, but they're not. So it's like, you know how on holidays you see other people that you keep crossing paths with? So this would be a standalone story.
Yeah, maybe they'll get a body double of Leo just walking behind them. Many places I have been, many faces I have seen, walked the desert, swam the shores.
Leo D, is that you? Do you have any pictures you want to throw out there at this time?
Now, JB, in my mind, I would probably go quite Black Mirror-esque. You know, I'm talking 4 girls in their own giant LED screen cubes, each of them dressed really cool. And within each cube is scenes of a beach side, but they're all at different times of the day. So, you get different lighting and stuff like that. They're moving within the cube and the landscape changes. So it looks like they're walking on the beach. One of them reaches down to the sand and picks it up, and it's actually pixels. It's meant to look textural, but also really synthetic at the same time and futuristic in a Y2K way.
You didn't just think about that on the spot. I've been ripped to shreds here on my podcast. Also, Davo, this CD single had a B-side, If You Don't Know What I Know, R&B bop.
I cannot.
Bit of David Lim, is it?
JB, what is going on here? Every player hater says my group is whack. We don't care, y'all, because our pockets are fat. Well, actually, girls, no, they're not, but at least you get to be on top of the pops. We done plastic, platinum, silver, gold. Do you really want to know how many records we've sold? Let me tell you what the other girl bands say. We don't want to be Spice Girls, we want to be All Saints. Now, if you listen to the recording, they reverse the bit where it says Spice Girls, so obviously they don't get in trouble. But, yeah, it's there in the lyrics on genius.com.
Detective Lim sold it out. Wow.
Do you really want to know how many records we sold? Let me tell you what other girl bands say. When I was young, ain't nobody kissed my I was the skinny kid at the back of the class. But now I got curves, shapely and strong. Every man, some women want to give me some more. I don't do that.
The B-side moments do give us a little bit of I feel like they were sessions that were, okay, what's 2000's answer to the first album?
Now, they recorded, over 40 songs for this album, so I'm surprised there's not
Where
more.
are they?
Well, maybe there's going to be an anniversary issue at some point. Maybe there's a super deluxe coming. I'm curious to hear what other stuff that was done at this time, yeah.
This won an Ivor Novello Award in 2001 for Most Performed Work. And at the 2001 Brit Awards, Pure Shores was nominated for Song of the Year and Video of the Year, but lost in both.
I'm such a hater. I'm a hater. Sorry.
Lost in both categories too. Do you want to guess what it was?
Robbie Williams.
He's got it in his notes. So not only was it all of that, David, but this was the second best-selling single in the UK of 2000.
Behind Bob the Builder. Can You Fix It?
This was a UK number one smash hit, also number one in Scotland and Romania and Italy.
Romania,
and Ireland.
Thank you, Seb.
Thank you, Seb. In Australia, it was number 4, so thank you for that, David.
You're welcome.
In New Zealand, it was a number 2 smash hit, 3 on the Europe Euro chart Hot 100. And you'll notice that there's nothing for America because those cheeky buggers in America, the radio programmers, decided to choose New Order's Brutal and Sugar Ray Spinning Away from the soundtrack instead of Pure Shores. Those cheeky
Shame on you, America.
Radio programmers in America.
Not having it.
So, David, we've been to the cinema in February. We've been to the beach. Now, summer of 2000, or May as a whole, while Shaznay was plotting pop domination with William Orbit, our other 3 members, Mel, Nat and Nick, were making their feature film debut in the Dave A. Stewart of the Eurythmics directorial film, Honest.
I came across this a few years ago, probably when we were living together, JB, and I was like, when did 3/4 of All Saints go off and make their acting debut in a film? And at first I thought, oh, is it a musical? What is this?
Do you remember when we were living together, I bought some copies of Smash Hits on eBay because we were using them for props. I'm going to plug it here. My comedy web series, Obsessed, which was about All Saints superfans. Go and watch it on YouTube. Centered around Shaznay superfans. Shaznay approved. Thank you very much. Not everybody has that. So I was buying some old smash hits because we were sort of cutting them up and using them for props to decorate the I'll say set, you know, it was a bedroom we filmed in. And me and you were reading through it, just having a real good time. There's a full A4 poster, like an advert, a paid advert for the DVD release of Honest, an 18 certificate film.
Oh, wow.
In smash hits. And then that must have been when we had this conversation. The plot of Honest is the film is an edgy black comedy set in swinging London in the late 60s. The All Saints girls play 3 streetwise sisters who head up west to rob and generally cause trouble. David, you haven't had the opportunity to see the film yet, have you?
I've seen a tiny bit of the trailer as a refresher.
Tiny bit of the trailer.
No, I was really interested in seeing what it would look like as a visual thing because it's set in the 60s, right? So I wanted to see the fashion, the acting and all that kind of stuff. But JB, what I was really fascinated by is I saw this compilation of, I guess it must be like a behind the scenes of Honest or the promo for this. But it seems like the girls did so much press for it. They even took this to Cannes Film Festival. Like, talk about a proper tastemaker launch.
Yeah, you know, out to the film market, screened out of competition at Cannes. I will say, I think they all did great in it. I bought it on DVD during lockdown because, like, I need this in my collection. Whilst it was a pan from Cannes, it was very positively reviewed by not just me.
Joe Babington of Digital Spy.
The Sunday Times gave it 4 stars and called it a cult classic.
Was it reviewed by Kate Thornton?
The girls did brilliantly in their film debut. Also, absolute legend. Maybe it was Kate that slid that into Smash Hits then as former editor of Smash Hits magazine. Now, while we've got all that going on, David, there was a soundtrack release to coincide with the film. The soundtrack had 10 Motown classics plus 3 tracks that were 60s Motown covers by the girls. So they all had a track each.
Wow.
Natalie had a duet with Bootsy Collins.
Not everybody has that.
They did a cover of You're All I Need to Get By, originally by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Nicole does a cover of Reflections, which was originally by Diana Ross.
Not the Mulan soundtrack. Okay, yeah.
Through the hollow of my tears, I see a dream that's lost from the hurt that you have caused. Everywhere I turn, seems like everything I see.
And then Mel closing out the soundtrack album with My Cherie Amour, a Stevie Wonder cover.
None of this touched me in Australia. Like, I did not know about this film coming out at the time. And maybe it wasn't available to us in cinemas over there in Australia, so maybe that's why it wasn't in Smash Hits Australia. Sorry, I'm sure Kate Thornton tried to push that one through on the international editions. The Australian editor said, no, doesn't make sense for our market.
No, we won't get that here.
Sorry, Kate, love ya, but I'm going to have to draw the line there.
Well, when you didn't put Scandalous on the front of Smash Hits UK, well, I can't do this now. Well, you know, we're meant to be a family here at Smash Hits, and we feel quite separated at the moment.
As Joel was saying, this film came out in May. It's quite a long period of time. That whole summer of 2000, All Saints did a handful of festivals. And I do mean literally, I can count on one hand how many festivals they played. And that included Tea in a Park in Scotland, Party in a Park in London, and V Festival. So maybe it was because Pure Shores was still riding so high on the radio, they could afford to take their time a little.
So, David, let's go to October.
Pure Shores is sort of like frolicking in a beach at night, doing your thing. And you're up in the morning now, black coffee.
I wouldn't wanna be anywhere else but here. I wouldn't wanna change anything at all. I wouldn't wanna take.
JB, I have to say, this has been the big lovely rediscovery for me this episode. Like, I have fallen deep, deep back in love with this song. Back in my LimeWire era, I preferred the Neptunes remix of Black Coffee. So that was the version I spent the most time with. But now that I'm listening more and more to the album version, I'm more like, okay, I get its quirky charms.
Absolutely. Firstly, David, thank you so much for sharing that Neptunes remix with me. How was that not service to America?
Exactly. What was going on? Maybe they thought, you know what? They didn't want to have Pure Shores. Sod them. We're taking you off the mailing list, America. Taking you off copy.
We've burnt bridges with Smash Hits Australia. We've burnt bridges with radio stations in America. We don't need it. They don't. They bloody don't. So, David, I completely agree with what you were saying of rediscovery in a way. You can never hear Pure Shores for the first time because it's such a monumental hit. This, while still a huge hit, and very similar to Pure Shores production-wise, you know, just signature William Orbit, you know. This one is just such a hauntingly beautiful song, and it has aged so well. And I think because it's not been as overplayed as Pure Shores, not that there's anything wrong with that, obviously deserves to be overplayed,
but I think there's something about this, it's like it's a bit of a hidden gem, right, for a lot of people. I love the really cool, lush electronic pop and dreamy kind of quality to it, but also lyrically, Pure Shores, the chorus is very like dynamic. This one feels a little more bittersweet and a little bit more intimate. The original demo apparently sounded like a rock ballad, according to Natalie Appleton, who told this to our very own Live Love Levine in their 2018 interview for Dazed. This song, JB, has the wildest origin story, wouldn't you say? Isn't it crazy when you look into it? So this song was originally called I Wouldn't Wanna Be, and it was written by former Miss UK, Kirsty Roper. That's her maiden name.
Not only was she 1988 Miss UK, but she was 2017's UK's richest woman.
So Kirsty back then, she tried to launch a pop career, and around that time she fell in love with a billionaire who she would go on to marry, thus the, you know, rich list.
You were going to say, hence, rich woman.
Yeah, hence rich woman. Now, this song was actually written about the early days of their romance, so it's actually a very personal song for Kirsty. So this song was somehow shopped to London Records, and they didn't really believe in the potential of her as an artist, but they liked the song. So it ended up with All Saints, and Shaznay, Mel, and William Orbit reworked it to become Black Coffee and like completely flipped it. So it's like very different. So, but I love it for Auntie Kirsty, you know, she's on the rich list, but she also has this like incredible hit in her discography, and she can be like, well.
Absolutely. Some of the original lyrics from this song go, I really love you. It's not just because you're rich.
I wouldn't want to spend anything at all.
Anything at all.
I wouldn't want to take anything out on loan, even though I know you can afford it. Sorry, Kirsty. Oh my God, this was really rude. Sorry, but...
We were only joking. Look, Kirsty.
Look, listen, you are goals, honey.
We're doing it with love. We would love to be both Miss UK and UK's richest woman. That is aspiration. What's lovely, David?
Can't get over the song we just did. Can you imagine if she released that Black Coffee Kirsty's version?
Thank you, David. So... Kirsty, actually, I don't have it in my notes, but I did see it somewhere. Kirsty said she made £12,000 from this record.
That's really brilliant, but like she is literally a billionaire. So I'm sure that's loose change, Kirsty. Invest that in Right Back at Ya.
And look, we'll make that song a hit. Obviously, we do have lead vocals, but
It will be our theme song. Yeah, it will be the theme song, Kirsty. Whatever you want to do. If you fund our production company, we can be in an air-conditioned studio this time next year.
Oh my
thanks
God.
to Kirsty and the Black Coffee Fund. Can you imagine?
We could be sat in the same room. That would be brilliant. Thank you, Kirsty.
Now, JB, let's talk about the music video. This one is directed by Swedish director Bo Johan Renck, who has done some of my favorite noughties pop videos, including Madonna's Nothing Really Matters and Hung Up, and also Kylie's Love at First Sight.
It feels sort of like, look, we had such a huge hit with Pure Shores. We're coming straight out the gate with this one with an expensive, glossy music video.
I don't know, I love the cool colours. We love that it's got more of an inner city girls vibe. You know, we're seeing the girls appearing in these slow motion scenes of couples fighting in the flat. And they're just in the background, disconnected from the actual scene, but they're singing there. Unfortunately, some of the narrative coming out of this era and this shoot was that the saints weren't speaking to each other really at this point. So the director had to be savvy with scheduling and shooting them individually and piecing it together.
You know, regardless of what was going on with the girls, they absolutely made it work. Because I never, you know, yes, we see that in the research, but I don't sit there and go, well, they shot that all separately for X, Y, and Z. Like, it worked for the video. It's giving them kind of like a narrator point of view, singing about a story. Natalie is giving us very serious acting in her performance, just in the embodiment and the posture and her aura. It's really serious. You can tell in the depths in her eyes, like she is expressing to the camera. While they're all giving you different stuff, what they're all doing is feeling their oats, and they absolutely should be doing that.
Yeah. JB, we've already given a shout out to the Neptunes mix that I mentioned earlier, but also in research for this episode, I came across a version 2 of this as a B-side on All Hooked Up.
Oh, wait, a Neptune's version 2? Or just a...
No, just a version 2 of this song. Now, this one is a little bit more distilled.
It's all different, but it's all the same, but it's very different.
Welcome to the All Saints Starbucks.
So, this was another UK #1 smash hit. It was a #3 in Scotland, I'm shocked to say. Come on, Scotland. We stand the Scottish chart, so that is quite shocking. 7 in New Zealand. #5 on the European Hot 100. 20 in Australia, David Lim. You didn't run out and buy that single, did you?
No, I didn't. I went on fucking LimeWire. That's what I did.
Oh, yeah, bloody Neptune. #1 on the LimeWire charts in Australia, Neptune's remix. #6 in Ireland, 7 in Italy. We absolutely love to see it. Big silver hit here in the UK.
I would like to think our Auntie Kirsty had her own coffee trucks out week of release. Being like, go on then, have a black coffee. Free black coffee if you purchase a CD of Black Coffee by All Saints. You know what I mean?
Go on, Kirst. Get it, girl. Also, last but not least, just need to say, we now have the arrival of the new Hun All Saints artwork, which we are going to see for the rest of this era. And this front cover was shot by Ellen von Untworth. So that is very impressive, and literally not everybody has that.
It is really top tier at the time, you know. Legendary Ellen von Unworth has shot for Kylie. I believe it was Shocked, the single cover, but also that whole album era. Naomi Campbell's album. Obviously, she shot Naomi as a model, but more importantly, Naomi Campbell's album.
We have that Hun logo. That Hun glittery logo, like that's what Pure Shores was missing. Like
this is Diamante's cursive font. Diamante. We love a pop star album with Diamantes on it in the 2000s, okay? We got All Saints, Saints and Sinners. We got Victoria Beckham's VB logo with the panther.
Wasn't Rachel Stevens Come and Get It? Wasn't it like the font, but then with little
with
dots?
the Diamantes as well? Listen,
Queens.
I think when we redesign the Right Back At You logo,
Oh, no.
we need Diamantes.
Right, Ellen, if you want to exec produce our new artwork, we are available. So as you were saying, David, let's talk about the artwork for the Saints and Sinners albums. To me, I don't know what it's giving you, but it's giving me house party vibes and in a very editorial and artistic way. And my favourite bit of it is Mel is a girl after my own heart. She's going in for the picky bits.
I wouldn't say this is a house party. I feel like they're on the couch in the, like, not officially the VIP area, but it's like their own area of the club. This is basically All Saints on a girls' night out. And I feel like we've come such a way from the first album era. At this point in All Saints' careers, they've become quite tabloidy. They're constantly in Heat magazine and in the papers for the nights out and the famous boyfriends and all that. So it kind of felt like a little bit of a commentary on where All Saints are at this point in their lives, don't you think?
Yeah, and I love like the feel. It's sort of like giving a little bit David LaChapelle vibe.
Exactly, the strong light.
Yeah.
You know how when you're shooting somewhere in a nightclub, you need to put the flash on really bright? So yeah, everything about this is a mood. It's kind of like the aesthetic of we're girls about town. You want to come out on a night out with us.
Let All Saints show you a real good time.
So JB, now this is what we would call on this podcast an eclectic body of work. You know, it seems to waver somewhere between cool, atmospheric, trip hop, dream pop, electronica. And yet there are other elements here that sounds like it wants to be, you know, taking a bit of American R&B influences and appeal to like a more international audience. The majority of these songs were written by Shaznay and KG, Carl Gordon, who, you know, this dynamic duo were day one All Saints. Like they were there working together on that first album to begin with. But the only difference with this second album is we've got 4 tracks with William Orbit's contribution. Shaznay writes by herself without the other girls on all these songs, which I think she typically does. But we get 2 songs written by Mel and a song written by Natalie here. So
everyone's off doing their own thing at the All Saints writing camp. And I think, look, if Shaz was already like strong writer on her own, she's going to continue doing that. So then it's probably the other girls go in. I mean, they're so, like, don't get me wrong, they're all fan-bloody-tastic, but that is such a strong muscle that they have the songwriting prowess of Shaznay in their band. Like, that's what uniquely makes them. But I guess also, if you were one of the other members, you'd be like, yeah, I want to give that a bloody good go. So I'll go off and do a little bit of with some people.
yeah, go have your own session, yeah.
So, Davo, let's dive into this album. I want to hear from you. What was your first standout track on this album?
JB, for me, a standout album track. First one is Distance.
At this time I cannot feel you, I cannot see. They don't know I'm taking my mistake, and I'm being free. They'll never know if your heart is with another boo. It's a distance from you. It's a distance from you.
Now, this one to me could have been a third single off the album. It's got a different enough vibe from Pure Shores and Black Coffee. It has more of a contemporary 2000s R&B feel. But I just love that kind of warm acoustic guitar noodling, that kind of slinky groove. I love it. I love a long distance love song as well. Like the lyrics of this song is just like, I can hear this on the radio and people getting into it. What do you think?
Yep, absolutely. Stand out for me too. And I think the whole thing still sounds like All Saints, but that is the one that's like, if you liked the first album, you like R&B, this is the one for you.
What about you, JB? What's your highlight?
Well, we'll go with my first highlight being Dreams.
Oh,
the
yes.
Natalie co-write and co-written by Queen legend Samantha Fox under the name Karen Wilkin.
Dreams I dream will at last come true. Skies are clear, leaving me bright and blue. I will raise my glass to my heart and say, here's to tomorrow, not yesterday. Dreams I dream.
Mind blown.
Mind blown. I couldn't see it in my research for this episode, but I remember reading an interview with Sam before and her saying something along the lines of, like, she had to do it, like she wasn't allowed to do it under her name because she's Sam Fox.
Exactly, because she's Sam Fox and they're All Saints and they're cool. There was no way that they would let that happen. And I think for her, she was just like, oh, no biggie, I'll just put it under a different name. But what an incredible, like, what a story. You would never think Samantha Fox would have a co-writing credit on an All Saints album.
Jive recording artist Samantha Fox of PWL. I absolutely would. Caliber, legend.
But it's, you know what I mean. It's
I know
All
what you
Saints.
mean.
They were like cool at the time. Yeah, but it's also like, it reminds me of the time where Kylie had Miss Dynamite as a co-writer on one of her songs, and Miss Dynamite didn't put Miss Dynamite in there. She just went with her government name. We're of that generation, JB, where we would get a CD, open up the booklet, look through the credits and everything. Like, that is what we live for. So stuff like this, I'm just like, I always love hearing about.
It's as cheeky as in Hilary Duff's first album. I don't remember if we spoke about this in our episode or not, but on the songwriting credits where Hayley co-wrote.
It's H Duff.
Yeah, where Hayley co-written, it's just H Duff. So Dreams is such a dreamy mid-tempo pop number, along as our prestigious co-writers that we've mentioned also got a co-write from William Orbit and additional production from old Billy Orbit on this one as well.
Billy Orbit. So yeah, Dreams is also produced by Cameron McVeigh and Paul Sim, who would both later go on to work on the Sugar Babes' first album, including Overload. So icons only here. Is this kind of trip hop vibe of this song with the fractured electro beats that just makes it so signature to this era of All Saints. I wish I had embraced this album at the time of release.
Yeah.
Because I would have definitely enjoyed this alongside Madonna's music album, American Life. I think I could have had this as a holy trinity for me.
Well, David Lim, whilst you snoozed, you did not lose. Because you've got it now, darling.
I know, and we're doing a whole episode on it. So yeah, here we are. Dreams.
They can come true, as Gabrielle would say. What's another standout for you, my dear?
I feel the need to say this, JB, because I think you're going to enjoy this with me. The UK bonus track, One More Tequila.
All right, say what you got to say, and then I'll say what I got to say.
He said, one more tequila for the sexy señorita. We didn't come so see ya. She's coming home with me. And he said, one more tequila for the sexy señorita. We didn't come so see ya.
I mean, that Kate Hudson vodka's kicking in. Anyway, One More Tequila. It's giving last drinks at a Mexican restaurant where they've closed the kitchen and it's just drinks coming out. You've got half-eaten tacos thrown all over the table. You're dancing on the tabletop. He said, one more tequila for the sexy señorita. He didn't call, so see ya. She's coming home with me.
Poetry.
I love this. I love the feeling that Shaznay, you know, whoever was in the studio was just having fun making this, because I think that's something that sometimes when you listen to the singles on this album, they seem so, you know,
cool,
demure and cool. But I'm like, now we got one more fucking tequila. I was like, yes.
Because all week I've been listening to the album. Bonus tracks aren't on Spotify.
Sadly, no.
So then day of record, ladies, gents, non-binary friends, I'm like, quickly check out the bonus tracks. And I'm literally like, I was not expecting this at all, to quote out Danielle Jane. And this is a standout for me too. Final track of the album, if you include the bonus tracks, a salsa bop. And what I'm saying, David Lynn, is I would like Shaznay to perform this while I dance to it on Dancing with the Stars Australia, please.
That's going to be shooting up the ARIA charts in no time, I bet. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Well, I was. So, Davo, anything else for you on this album?
Okay, JB, I just want to give a mention to Whoopin' Over You.
Okay.
It's a little bit ridiculous, I know.
Yeah.
But I kind of love the slinky kitty cat vibes of this one.
I'm feeling mighty strong as I ride all up on you, baby, bring it on. How you digging that? How you like my cowboy hat? I dance like a kitty cat.
Now, this one's written by Shaznay with Johnny Douglas, who would also go on to work with the Sugar Babes. To me, this feels like a very natural connection to their cover of Lady Marmalade on the first album. I just love this bit where it's like, I got my boots on, I'm feeling mighty strong as I ride all up on you. How you digging that? You like my cowboy hat? I dance like a kitty cat.
Fabulous.
I just love that you like my cowboy hat.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, we love cowboy hats in this era of pop, so we're glad that it is finally on record somewhere vocally. So, Davo, I just want to give a shout out to Love is Love. It's currently Pride Month. This could have been a Lost Pride banger, but it is an edgy R&B bop.
It is a bit of me.
It's a bit of David.
Something just crept up on me as you lay next to me this morning. As you looked up into my eyes, suddenly I realized what I've been searching for. I no longer had to look no more.
The beat does sound like something that could have been a Holly Valance or Mandy Moore In Your Pocket era track. You know, I wasn't expecting All Saints to come out with this kind of beat that's more playful. Sadly, I think the song itself isn't giving main pop girl energy. Like, the beat had so much potential. Like, can you just imagine if this song was rewritten with Shaznay and Kathy Dennis or Stargate? Like, I feel like it really
fabulous.
could have been a top tier track for Billie Piper's second album.
Brilliant, yeah.
Shaz, send me that instrumental. Like, maybe let me have a go at writing something.
All right, ladies, gents, non-binary friends, let's get Shaznay, David Lynn, Stargate in the studio. I'm going to come along too. I'm going to make the tea and let's just vibe and let's do it.
Love is Love 2024. Let's go.
2024. I was going to say 2024 as well. We're not going to say 2023 because we don't want to date this. 2024.
Yeah, give us enough time to work on this.
Absolutely. So we need to talk about Surrender, David. Now, this is
Sexy.
It's our other William Orbit number. Promo copies were issued, so it was allegedly due to be the fourth single.
Oh no, really?
Something in the wine that accentuates the mood. Like a child at school, you're the blackboard, I concentrate on you. You close the curtains, I am certain this is more than fun. Your fingers lose my clothes, you let go.
I do feel like it's a real thing of the label and the team are going, right, what tracks did William Orbit work on? Let's get them out as the singles.
I don't think this could have been a fourth single. Like, to me, it was fine. I really like this pairing of Shaznay and William. I think they do a great job together. I also find it quite nice to hear a seductive All Saints track because some of the sexier All Saints songs are very like kitty cat, you know, kind of prowling kind of songs. Whereas this feels actually like, oh, okay, we're in the boudoir kind of vibes.
I feel so sweet as you kiss my feet. Now, this could have been a foot fetish anthem.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, the real boner killer of this sexy song for me is Shaznay's spoken word rap in an American accent, which I wasn't expecting. See, like, I believe that when two people meet and express themselves, it's truly sweet. It's a great form of communication, but it has to be the right combination.
They were trying something. So I do think it's in an alternate universe. This whole album could have been produced by William Orbit, and seeing what light and shade they could have come up with, because obviously if he's got 4 tracks or however many on here, they're William Orbit tracks. Whereas what we kind of spoke about with Xenomania working with Girls Aloud, it gave moments of songs from the vaults from other artists, new songs, a real chance to do lots of different stuff for Xenomania. So I'd love to have seen what 12 tracks of All Saints and William Orbit would have been like.
I think there could have been different lights and shades and different tastes, as the JB would say on this podcast.
Look, before we move on completely, I just want to shout out to the 2 Mel Blatt co-writes. We've got I Feel You, which is this beautiful, like, twinkle on the beach, lovely mid-tempo. I feel like beach is still like a through line of a lot of the album, just sort of beach vibes. But I Feel You especially, like, just gorgeous. And then on the flip side of that, we've got Ha Ha, where literally the lyrics are ha ha, the lyrics are laugh out loud. Mel Blatt was at the forefront of our messages for the next 20 years.
She invented LOL.
Literally. So, Davo, this was released in October 2000 here in the UK, 2 weeks before Spice Girls Forever.
Oh, wow.
And in the 2 weeks in between that, between Saints and Sinners and Forever, we also had Steps Buzz, which was released.
Oh my God, what a time.
So for everyone, literally what a moment in time. The week after this album was released, David, The Greatest Hits of Texas was a UK #1 smash hit.
I mean, that is one for Live Love Levine, yeah.
What I want to go through is the chart positions. Shall we go for it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so chart-wise, globally girly, strap in. This was a #1 smash hit here in the UK and on the Scottish album charts. #4 on the European album charts. #2 in Ireland. 8 in New Zealand. 8 in Greece. 14 in Germany. It was 20 in Australia, David. Get your bum out of your computer chair. Stop downloading on LimeWire. Go to Kmart. But we'll take a top 20 Australian hit on the ARIAs, and it was #9 on the Australian dance album charts. 2 times platinum here in the UK.
Now, what was really interesting, JB, is that this album debuted at #1 here, but spent 23 weeks on the charts. A contrast to their debut album, which was so massive, but peaked at #2, but end up spending 83 weeks on the charts and certifying 5 times platinum. Swings and roundabouts, as you guys say here in the UK, but very happy for the Saints. It's a #1 album there. So JB, you know, looking back at this time, the Saints said having the success of the first album definitely shifted the focus on making album #2. Speaking with our very own Live Love Levine in their 2018 interview for Dazed, Shaznay said, by the time the second album came around, people were talking about sales figures and different international markets and all the rest of it. So I do feel like the focus changed. With the second album, we weren't really allowed to make the sort of album we should have made. The difference between the first album is they already made it and they went to London Records with it. So
that's so interesting. And it's a real unfortunate that the girls were made to feel that way. But in terms of the record label and looking at facts and figures, if the girls came to you with the first album, and therefore I hope the first album was an album they'd want to make, why not let them do the same for the second album? And then I'm really curious, artistically, from our Lord Saviour, we bow down to Shaznay. I would love to know in the mind of that time of what album her and the girls would have liked to have made if this isn't it.
You know, I want to read between the lines here, and maybe she's saying that the label's kind of pushing her and encouraging her to like explore different sounds and create different tracks that would appeal to different markets and stuff. So which kind of explain why when we were talking about highlights before that, there were so many unexpected beats and production and stuff, even though it's kind of like, it's not like they worked with many different producers. It's not like a Sweet Seven situation, But I think Shaznay was maybe like nudged and encouraged to like maybe try many different things.
It's the kind of the eclectic of the way you would look at a debut normally and go, well, you know, it's an eclectic debut.
We love an underrated album on this podcast, so it feels very right for us to like champion Saints and Sinners and go deep with this. So yeah, it's just interesting hearing what the girls say.
Although, from our listeners' point of view, I don't think our listeners would consider this an underrated album. So, guys, would love to know what you think.
It's a number one.
It's a number one.
Double platinum.
Into your hearts and minds, let us know. Do you think this is underrated or not? Or do you just full out love it and you think, yeah, I love it. I always have, always will. So, David, I want to move on. We've had this number one smash hit album. November 2000, we have the MTV EMAs. Now, this is very notable because it is the night of the Spice Girls Holler performance. This is their last performance as the original run of the Spice Girls. All Saints performed that night with Pure Shores and they won Best Pop Act. So a big night for the girls. Then, before the year wraps up, David, let's move on to the infamous Christmas concert.
Oh my goodness. So by this point, the press was already picking up on tensions and it felt like things were boiling over at December's Capital FM Christmas concert, which in today's terms is Capital's Jingle Bell Ball, kids. Backstage, there was a little bit of a kerfuffle. Natalie and Shaznay apparently fell out over a jacket. Somebody wanted to wear it. The other person wanted to wear it. I think ultimately Shaznay wore it, but years later in an interview, Shaznay reflected on it and said, you know, it was so silly. Like, you know, if it was over, like, who could have thought that the group would have ended over a jacket? You know, if it was that, you can have the jacket. Like, you know, who cares?
Historic, infamous moment, and cannot wait for the All Saints approved biopic on that one day.
I even sent you a clip before. I was like,
you did.
The infamous jacket. Shaznay's wearing the jacket.
So that concert gave what I could find as the only performance of the single we're about to get into in January 2001.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't find another performance of All Hooked Up at this time, but you can tell Jacket Gate was real and it simmered onto the stage because the Appletons were on one side, Mel and Shaz was on the other side with the jacket. It was like, fucking hell, you know, what is going on over there? But yeah, shall we get into January 2001, All Hooked Up, the final single of this era and of All Saints era before they reunited.
Can't you see that I brought her all that?
Why is this fool all up in my ass? Doesn't he know I want class, not trash? Why is this fool all up in my ass? Doesn't he know that I got my own cash? I know that you want a piece of my ass. Don't you know that a guy like you?
I feel like a local, David, like someone who likes to think they're a big All Saints fan. I am a terrible fan because this song was brand new to me, if I'm completely honest, for this episode.
I'm gonna be honest with you too. Like, I have no recollection of this song, and it's not even something I ever heard any pop fans reference. So I feel a little bit like, oh, was it really a single or was it like a buzz track or a promo single? Like,
no, it was a
bitch,
single.
There was a full-on CD. There was CDs pressed. There was artwork. There was a music video shot. It was an official single, and yet it passed us both by.
I wasn't fond of it at the beginning of my research.
I don't like it.
I still don't like it.
I don't like
It's
it.
grown on me. It'll get you there by the album.
Why is this fool all up in my ass?
That bit straight away. I listened to the album first time through and I'm like, oh, that's fabulous. Already out. That was always my favourite bit. It was just a lot. Listening to it, I was like, what is going on here? There's so much going on. But now it's sunk in, it actually feels like a really nice mix of the first two album eras. I think by the time you get there in editing this episode, David, you're going to text me and go, do you know what, Joel? I've got there.
You know what I'm like. And actually, I've been listening to All Hooked Up on repeat because I'm like, there must be something about this I should get. I do think this kind of like American hip hop R&B flavor, especially with the record scratching in the production, it makes this song sound way dated. Is this what we want in the year 2000? Like a retro throwback to the 90s?
Yeah. The reason why the kids and smash hits and that crowd never really got to experience it, because All Saints pulled out of 2 television appearances at this time of promoing for the single. They pulled out of both CD UK and T4 because they were asked to change the lyric, "You want a piece of my ass?" And the girls said no.
I actually stand with All Saints with this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how did you book me on these slots and not read the lyrics through? Wouldn't you have flagged this earlier on and been like, sorry guys, we really want to promote this record, but there's no way Top of the Pops and CD UK would let you go in and go, why is this full all up in my ass? Do you have a clean version? Where was that conversation being like,
Yeah.
do you have a clean version? Before confirming the girls to do this.
And it's not like it's one throwaway lyric, though. That keeps coming up in the song. So
Oh, it's the most iconic bit. I love it.
It would need to be quite prominently changed, you know? And what would they change it to?
Why is this full all up in my up in my
That's quite a lot of times to do that in a song, you know? So I think it's for the best that it didn't happen, to be honest. But let's talk about the music video, Davo. Music video for this, directed by Douglas Avery, who directed On a Night Like This for our Kylie Ann Padam Padam Minogue.
Gorgeous.
So the video was filmed in 2 days over London.
Once again, similar to Black Coffee, it's all solo scenes of the girls. Each girl are in their own motel room, and it's them basically like throwing this guy around, isn't it? Like they throw this guy through the wall. So maybe the stunt is
throwing a bad boyfriend around.
Yeah, maybe the stunt was all to do with the guy, nothing to do with the girls. Like he had to physically be thrown through the wall.
But I think they're very, because it's also like very judgery with how the girls are in a very cool staccato way. Yeah, I just watched the video, guys. That judgeriness, that can't be a natural one take. Like it could be one take that's then cut up.
I really like the look and feel of this. It's such a shame that the vibes weren't good in the group at this time, because what I want to see in this video is all 4 girls, like a pack of girls ganging up against thirsty boys. It really needs that in the visuals of them arm in arm, kicking the boys around rather than them individually. Actually, out of a lot of songs on the album, I feel like this song has a lot more equal vocal parts, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
You get to hear all 4 of them more, which is why it's like such a shame we don't get that performance in the video, because it could have been so kick-ass if all 4 of them were together.
So with a strong music video and a notable Christmas performance, this went in at number 7 here in the UK, 8 in Scotland, 50 in New Zealand, 18 in Ireland, 32 in Europe, and 16 and 8 respectively in Belgium. No Aussie charts.
I don't remember seeing this single out there, JB, I'll be honest.
So yeah, real undiscovered gem here for me in this episode. So David, you know, that's the final single of this era of All Saints, but let's quickly talk about a few more things. January 2001, of all places, the World Sports Awards. Our girlies All Saints performed at the World Sports Awards, held at London's Royal Albert Hall, 16th of January 2001.
Now, that is literally a day after this single comes out.
Vocally, what a moment to leave the band on. This is our last live performance that we're going to see of this era of All Saints. And wow, they literally left us there. Stunning, stunning, stunning performance.
An acoustic rendition of Pure Shores, like really showing you what they're made of. Love this.
It's so strong, all of them. Like literally incredible. Albeit an odd platform, live on Sky Sports 1, World Sports Awards, your final performance. But it's then revealed, David, is what you shared with me in February 2001.
They're on ice, yeah. So I didn't know this at the time, but they had already announced a UK tour, which was meant to take place in May that year. It wasn't just UK, it was UK and Europe. They had cancelled that tour. So by this point, the press was speculating, All Saints are done, they've split up. So the group has put out a statement, and BBC News reports this. A group statement has said that the girls are taking a break, quote, in order to clear the air between themselves, quote, after their UK and European tour was cancelled. The statement confirmed that there was no chance of the four members working together in the immediate future, but added, quote, this does not by any means signal the end of All Saints. The girls just need their own space for a while, end quote. The group members will continue to work on new ventures, with the Appleton sisters already recording material together, which is interesting to read in this article because it's like, wow, oh, okay, that was already put in the air.
Use the not split statement to tease what's to come. Whilst that does kind of end our journey there, in November 2001, the girls released their greatest hits, All Saints, All Hits. I loved what they used for the cover of each girl in the hat.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Yeah.
I love a strong hat look. We love hats here at Right Back At Ya.
Black and white shot. I love it. Very album one era All Saints. Yeah.
Featured on this album as well, along with all your favourite All Saints hits, what we've spoken about today, and obviously all the classics from the first album. It also features 24/7, The Artful Dodger, featuring Melanie Blatt.
I love this song. For me, I remember seeing this song on Video Hits in our Australian summer, which would have been like, you know, later in the year. But I was obsessed with this music video. That was Mel Blatt in this like giant biodome, you know, with that kind of bubble chair, that kind of spherical clear chair. And I realized years later that location's the Eden Project.
Brilliant.
In Cornwall.
Let's get down there.
I've always wanted to go there.
Let's get there.
I'm trying to get there. It's hard to get to Cornwall, y'all. It's like easier for me to get on the plane to Gran Canaria.
It's far.
It's far, bitch. It's far on the train. But, you know, maybe one day we'll do a trip and I'm going to recreate the video there. 24/7's what I need, just what I need, just what I need.
Do you think the circular chair is still there?
No, I'll bring my own. It's fine.
24/7 was a number 6 hit here in the UK, 16 in Scotland.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, top 10
Wow.
hit. 16 in Scotland, 16 in Belgium, 32 on the European Hot 100, and number 41 in Ireland. I mean, look, I'm here for another collab.
No
with
Australian chart.
No Australian chart.
That's a shame. I definitely remember seeing the CD single and the music video, but it's a shame. Wow.
That is an absolute shame. But I'm here for another collab with these two. But in the meantime, let's keep blasting that loud and proud. The All Hits album was number 18 here in the UK. It is certified gold, 20 in Scotland, 24 in New Zealand, 38 in Ireland. Nothing for Australia, I'm afraid. So, David, that brings us to the end of our journey here.
We've waited so long to do All Saints, but it's not like a kind of, oh, we've been waiting to do it. It's kind of like, I think both of us wanted to have our own journeys with it and kind of be like discovering it. But the minute we both decided that this is what we're doing next, we both dived in.
All in.
We went all in respectively. And I think we've both come out of this recording and this research for this episode with so much love and excitement and enthusiasm for it.
I'm glad it will be immortalized now in this episode. But it does bring us, David, to the final question of the episode. Are you a saint or are you a sinner?
Oh, I'm definitely a sinner, baby. I know what you are.
I know your sort. I'm a sinner too, darling. It is what it is. Listeners, let us know at Right Back Pod, are you a saint or a sinner? We will leave it there. What an incredible moment in time in pop music, pop culture history for incredibly talented women that we both love, adore, hugely respect. My Appleton vinyl is coming end of this week. Will already be in the bookshelf and played several times by the time this episode's released.
And honestly, I'm a huge fan of Shaznay Lewis's solo album. Maybe one day we'll do a Shaznay solo episode or like an All Saints solo episode where we can talk about Appleton's, Shaznay's album, Mel Blatt's. I mean, Do Me Wrong by Mel Blatt, Xenomania production. Iconic. Look, we're about to enter another episode. We better stop ourselves.
Absolutely. Look forward to hopefully continuing it in the future. We adore these girls and we could talk about them till the cows come home. Let us know if you've enjoyed this episode and if you want more from us. You have been listening to Right Back At You, the 2000s pop music podcast. You can follow us at Right Back Pod on all social platforms. You can email us rightbackpod@gmail.com. We are filled with spam emails, so keep them coming. You can follow me at Dr_Joel B. You can follow him at
Love Limmy.
Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a lovely 5-star review. Until next time, we know where it's at. Bye.
Bye.